Okay, folks, it's time for another update. So, on the last one, you can see that the middle of my rock structure has changed. I took the middle boulder, which was actually a cave rock used in a much different manner, out of the tank, and along with it, a good chunk of SPS corals, some of which I just tossed in the trash, and others I did manage to find homes for, but not all of them. I no longer liked the way the fish swam through that cave, and it took up a good deal of real estate because now you can kind of go all the way around the branch rock that I had cooking and see, which gives it a much better dynamic. And aesthetically, I feel it looks so much better. I have decreased the number of torches that I have, and I'm still working on downsizing a little more to keep very specific ones, preferably naturally grafted ones, black tiger torches, etc., because anyone who knows me knows I'm not a fan of having your everyday run-of-the-mill corals that everybody has. I do like things very different. Like, one of my favorite pieces is this double endophilia right below that grafted torch. This thing in my eyes is just simply amazing. It's probably could be cut on a bandsaw to separate them, but the flesh is still basically one just underneath of that. My favorite coral in the tank by far is one of two remaining Wilson eyes that I still have in here. I grew this thing out from a quarter size little piece into, so far, a masterpiece by all means. Second favorite piece I would probably have to say is this glitter Acan Maximum. I know it's no longer called an Acan Maximum because you can't actually own an Acan Maximum, but the Micromusa Pacifica, as it's now called, is still one of my favorite pieces in the tank. I have some pieces ready to go out to a special person, but I don't want to show too many of those because I'm still working on it. But they'll be out of here on Saturday, along with this huge chunk of masters that I cut up, and I didn't want to cut it too small, so I left it really large and chunky, and the other half is just right there. But looking at this thing from the top down, you can really appreciate the colors a lot better than the way that they look looking through the glass. It's more unobstructed and gives you a much clearer visual. Don't mind, as I still have pieces that are misplaced that I will find homes for, but I also have maybe a dozen or so more corals that are scheduled to come in. And no, since I don't have my nano anymore, I have no idea where I plan on putting them, but I will find a way, because where there is will, there's definitely a way. You gotta have the proper color scheme going on so you can appreciate a lot of the other corals. One of the other ones that I really love is this Barabengi. It doesn't actually pick up the colors, just like it doesn't pick up the true colors of my Wilson eye on camera, no matter what filter I use. But that is certainly a banger in my eyes. I also really love this Dioceras plate and my blue Blastos, to say the least. I'm narrowing everything down to just the cream of the crop in my eyes, because that's all I thrive to keep in this tank. You can see this acanthophyllia starting to color up, but it did take a little bit of a beating from that holy guacamole torch up there, but it's still doing just fine. The acros that I chose to keep was the orange passion, this pixie sticks that is getting back to its glory, but it's taken a beating over the past few weeks. Not sure the name of this beautiful tenuous, but it's definitely one of my favorites. My Walt Disney has lost a bit of color, because anyone who knows how spectacular this thing was. This is the PC Rainbow. I saved a little nub of it when I sold the colony, and it's starting to take off now. This piece, I don't remember what it's called, but I got it from a buddy of mine, and it's starting to encrust on the plug. This beautiful banger there is just a stunner, but it doesn't always translate on camera. Just like this frozen shortcake doesn't always show up the way that it looks when you see it in person. I've tried to keep corals every which way, so every angle of my tank, no matter which side you look from, you can see corals. They're just everywhere, as they would be in the wild. And everything obviously is not ideal, but I kind of play on a different playing field than others. Just like keeping this chalice this high up, it has lost some of the pinks, but it is starting to regain the color from all of its glory. You can see one of my humans that I did manage to save from my nano just sitting up here basking in the light. An Australamusa that got beat up a while ago. I saved it, but I need to clean up the dead parts on the outside so that it can regrow, even though I know it can grow back over the old skeleton. One of my Biobankies that also doesn't translate because it is actually pink and red with beautiful gold stripes going through it, also was attacked by another coral that I don't even know the species of. Just like that Parascolemia vitiensis down there used to be a super bright orange, but it spent too much time in the shade, and now it's just starting to get its color back. A few more of these pieces, as I said before, will be going out, but slowly. I do have a few people who have sponsored a couple corals that are coming and has arrived that haven't made it in the tank yet. And it's a few more pieces that I would like to get my hands on that I don't have, but I once had. One of them being the Holy Grail torch. I sold it off just like I sold off my Holy Grail Reverse Tiger that used to be in here, because I believe that my tank should always be a working reef, meaning I can then grow and sell corals out of this tank, as I've done time and time and time again. And sometimes I don't always have the option to frag the corals before they go, but I do try every chance I get to make sure that I keep a piece of it. One day they'll come back. So anybody watching this, if you see something that you think will look really good in my tank that you have, feel free to reach out and let me know, and maybe we can work something out. Maybe I might gather a few more sponsors who can then help me upgrade this tank to a much bigger tank so that everything has a lot more space to grow out. But until next time, happy reefing, and I hope everybody is achieving their dreams as far as this reef tank go. And I'm off.